Hi there guys, welcome back to the channel. So, we've got a fair bit of news today to talk about, but firstly, because I didn't do like a match reaction to the Toulouse game the other day, I thought I'd just touch on a few points from that. Now, for me, the main part that came away from that for me was, obviously, Endo finally putting a performance that I think we can all certainly agree on is something that we've been looking forward to. It's very reminiscent of the times where Klopp's signed players before and it's taken them a while to bed in. I'm thinking about Fabinho and Robertson there. And hopefully he's turned a bit of a corner now. You know, obviously we've been linked with Andre a lot later, and I kind of expect us to try and sign him in the January transfer window. So, you know, he's going to get a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for, competition for his position. If we were to bring in Andre, obviously Thiago could be back from injury. Fingers crossed, you know, let's see if he actually makes an appearance this season. Bajcetic as well could be back. So there could be potentially 3 players vying for that position as the holding midfielder. Now, he was really good, obviously got his goal. Gravenberch was really good, got a goal. Nunes, you know, chaos himself, was really good again, even though obviously he did the very Nunes thing of taking the ball around the keeper and hitting the post. But he just reminds me so much of a Suarez and a Torres combination. He really does, and it was something I said long when we were linked with him. And he seems to be really finding his feet this season, and yeah, I hope that this is the first of many great performances and he just keeps it up. Now, we have got 9 points in the Europa League. The second place is on 4, so there's 5 points between us. You would probably think anything above if we draw the next game, then potentially we're through to the next round, which is against Toulouse again. So yeah, fingers crossed that is pretty much going to be the Europa League signed off for us now, I'd say. Now, going into the game against Nottingham Forest, looking at this lineup, you would expect there's going to be some changes, potentially 6 changes maybe. You know, Alisson's going to come in for Kelleher. Trent's probably going to keep his position. You're probably going to see Konate play, because in the post-game press conference, Klopp did mention that Konate could have played today in that game, sorry. I was going to say today then. But he was resting him basically, and he did have a bit of a sly dig at the French international manager as well by saying, he should learn to rest his players and not, play him 87 minutes and then 90 minutes. It's not resting them. So Konate was in need of a rest, that's why he didn't play, so he's probably going to come in for Matip. Van Dijk, you would think, was going to come in for Gomez, and Tsimikas is in for Chambers, you would expect. Now, the midfield for me is where it gets a little bit interesting, because I'm unsure on what I'd want to do here. So, you would expect Szoboszlai is going to come back in for Jones, right? And then, I'm umming and ahhing on where I put McAllister. Does McAllister come in for Gravenberch and, play further forward, and we give Endo another game as the DM? Or do we take Endo out, put McAllister in, and we leave Gravenberch on? That's the way I'm more inclined of going right now, because I do think Gravenberch is on. He's shown us a lot more and he's a little bit better. But at the same time, I am wary of potentially stifling the progress that Endo has made by just dropping him straight away. Do you know what I mean? So, let's see what he does. But let me know down in the comments down below, what would you do? Would you take Endo out and put McAllister in and leave Gravenberch in? Or do you leave Endo in, take Gravenberch out and put McAllister in? You would think that McAllister and Szoboszlai are both going to come straight back into the side for the midfield. So let me know down below, guys, which way are you going with that? And then the front three, you probably, Elliott's going to come out for Salah. Is Jota going to come out for Diaz? I'm unsure on that. I might keep Jota in. And then again, you've got to think at the same time, is Nunes getting dropped for Gakpo? I won't think so. So maybe it's just potentially just swapping Elliott for Salah. But again, guys, let me know down below, what would you do with the front three? Yeah, Elliott's a bit of a super sub for me at the moment. He's not really showing much when he's starting games. Jota's doing really well for me, and Diaz is not really showing that much. He seems to have lost a bit of pace or something from his game from last season, but maybe it's just I don't know. Let's see what happens. And I just think Nunes at the moment is a bit undroppable, isn't he? So can't really drop him for Gakpo at the moment, even though Gakpo himself is a really good player. Now, guys, let's get into some of this other news that I've found today. So, the Mirror are reporting today that Liverpool are on alert as Victor Osimhen's demands emerge in Napoli contract standoff. It says here that Liverpool and Chelsea are on red alert for Victor Osimhen's contract situation, with negotiations between the player and the Napoli president reportedly difficult. Osimhen's current contract is due to expire in 2025, and he has been heavily linked with a transfer after firing Napoli to their first Serie A title since 1990, last season with 26 league goals in 32 appearances. Liverpool recently sent scouts to watch him in action during the international break, while Mirror Football understands that Chelsea are also interested in signing the 24-year-old. And according to a report from Calcio Mercato, negotiations over a new deal at Napoli have stalled. The report states that a great frost has fallen between Osimhen and the president. I like how they just describe stuff for me, I really do. With two parties far apart on wages, Osimhen is he's said to want his yearly wages to be doubled from 4.5 million to 9 million euros a year, which equates to about £7.8 million a year. There's also a disagreement over the inclusion of a release clause, with Napoli wanting to set it at 200 million euros, £174 million, while Osimhen would prefer a more easy and cheaper fee. The reports add that both Liverpool and Chelsea are waiting in the wings. It is claimed that the Reds have moved decisively and have made several direct contacts. While Chelsea first showed their interest in the Nigerian international last summer, the Napoli president recently spoke about the ongoing negotiations with Osimhen, admitting he may sell the striker if he does not sign the new deal. And it says, in quotes here, guys, "I have never not been calm when it comes to Osimhen, but it takes two to tango," he said. "I remain the same. If his mood has changed, then there's not much I can do about that. If after a handshake things change, that is disappointing. We take it into account, but life goes on. We have a good rapport with him, and the contract runs till 2025, so there is time. Don't forget, I sold Koulibaly to Chelsea at the last minute." However, Napoli's sporting director has insisted that the club will not sell any of their best players in the January window, meaning Liverpool and Chelsea may have to wait until the end of the season to try and sign him, which makes obvious sense. I never thought for one instance that Liverpool were going to sign Osimhen in January. It was always a summer target for me if Salah was to go. Absolutely not, in quotes here, guys. The squad is very large and leaves us calm, the sporting director said. Everything can be improved, and there are discussions we will have later. We will certainly get together to understand how and whether to intervene. Now, Osimhen has been linked with us a lot lately, and there's a part of me that kind of thinks it is potentially just transfer gossip from the agent, but at the same time, Liverpool have also been linked with Jamal Musiala, and both players are being linked as a potential Mo Salah replacement, which, again, not to repeat myself, I do expect that this is Mo Salah's last season at the club. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that it doesn't happen. I hope Salah signs a new deal. But you would think that if we go into next summer and Salah's not signed that new deal, that the option for him to move on is going to be very, very likely. Especially with it being the last time Liverpool will be able to get a serious transfer fee for him. Because if he doesn't sign the new deal, he'll be leaving for nothing the year after. Same as Virgil van Dijk as well, to be fair. So, yeah, let's see what happens there, guys. And hopefully the Osimhen stuff kind of goes a little bit quiet now, because I kind of think that Liverpool need to focus on the defence and a defensive midfielder still to go forward. Now, speaking of defence, these two articles here kind of link, and I find it a bit interesting, so I just thought I'd bring it to your attention. But it says here that Liverpool's Chief Director of Coaching of Development has attended an event in Lisbon, hosted by Sporting Lisbon. Now, it's Martin Diggle, who is the Reds' Director of Coach Development, not only attended to hear what the Lions president said, but also give a speech to those at the event. It's no secret that Sporting's Academy is a reference to many European clubs, and the Liverpool chief claimed it's no different for the Anfield side. And they've got some quotes here from the Portuguese newspaper Record. Record, again, one of them papers that was on the ball straight away when we signed Diaz and Nunes. So, let's keep it going. It was a privilege to be invited. Sporting is one of the most iconic clubs in youth football on the planet. I came on Sunday and I'm going home on Wednesday because I didn't just want to share my ideas. I also wanted to learn about Sporting. There's a passion for the youth football and the development of the player and the human being, and their mentality, their values and how they behave. We want to work and collaborate with those who have similar ideas to us, not the same, but similar. And then it just goes on to say that Sporting, you know, is one of them clubs that's had a range of successful homegrown talents. Mateus Nunes, João Mario, Nuno Mendes, João Paulinho, Cristiano Ronaldo and Nani, just to name a few. And the reason why I mention this, guys, is because obviously Sporting have got a player that Liverpool are very much interested in, which leads me to the next article. Inacio. Now, stuff like that, guys, behind the scenes is a little bit interesting to me because it shows that Liverpool are building a relationship with the club. Now, we have a very good relationship with a Portuguese-heavy agency in Gestifute. We've got a few of our players from there, and they also represent a few players that we've been linked with in the past. Now, just going on to this article for Inacio, another newspaper from Portugal, Bola, they've basically said today that Sporting would only sell the defender in the summer transfer window and that they would have to pay the transfer fee release clause, which is at 60 million euros. And again, that would be the same in January as well, if they had to. If the Reds wanted to pay less than that, then Sporting will accept talks at the end of the season, even though the Portuguese club will still want to negotiate for something close to that price. The Lions are said to be in no hurry, especially because they know the Euros could end up being attracting more admirers and consequently pushing his price up. So again, we've got the Euros coming up this summer, guys. So if we want this kid and he goes there and does really, really well, I can't see how his price is going to be pushed up because he's got a release clause, but it might bring more people to the table who are interested in wanting to buy him. You know, Man United are said to be interested in him. Is it going to intrude, you know, is United, Arsenal, Chelsea, PSG, Real Madrid buying? Are any of these big clubs going to get involved if he goes there and has a really good tournament? You know, he's only 22 years of age. He's got 4 caps for the national team, and he's a heavy candidate, says here, to be a part of that squad. And some other clubs have already said to be interested, and they may also, that may also be a sign for Liverpool to move quickly. So basically, guys, if we want this kid, it's 60 million euros in January, and it's basically going to be 60 million euros in the summer. However, the competition could be a lot more heavy with that. And then linking that back into the old article, is Liverpool there getting to, you know, going to do stuff with the club, building that, that's, you know, what's the relationship between the two clubs, and just making it a little bit easier for Liverpool to start, you know, poaching players from there and getting them over and bringing them over here. So yeah, let's see what happens with that one, guys. That one seems to be a player to keep an eye on. The two players I am probably watching going into the January transfer window is Inacio and Andre. And I do think Andre is the most likely of the two at the moment. As it stands, you know, we were going into the back end of October now. We would probably start seeing a few more concrete rumours, you know, stuff of players that Liverpool are potentially looking at coming out soon. You know, it's Sunday tomorrow, so I'll be back with Paper Talk again. But yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this? And yeah, one other thing, that if you're still here at the end of the video, I have now got some memberships up on this channel. I have named them after things that I know might wind people up, but it's a joke, guys. If you are offended, it is what it is. Do you know, I don't mean to offend people, it's just a laugh on my part and for those that are close to me that know about it. So anyway, guys, there's no difference in regards to the different sections you could pick. I just wanted 2 options on there for a bit of a laugh. But yeah, guys, if you're interested, take a look. If you're not interested, it's fine by me. I'm not here to do it for the money, but it's just something that I thought I'd put on there on the channel, since YouTube have been spamming me with emails about how I can make stuff on my channel and stuff like that. So yeah, if you are interested, give it a look. And if you're not, it's fine by me as well, guys. But yes, I'll be back tomorrow with Paper Talk, and I'll see you then, guys.